Have my one command. Okay. Right. I'm very well, thank you. Okay, let's do it. Hello everybody, welcome to my first tutorial series on Foxhole. I've started playing this game on the 27th of July when it first came out. Absolutely loved the game, and I thought, you know, why not make some tutorial videos? Because I saw the current ones on YouTube could do with a little bit of updating since they're the old pre-dated version. So right now the date is the 7th of September 2017. So if you're watching it in a year's time, it might be out of date by now, but here we go. Right, so you join into Foxhole. First thing you do is you spawn at HQ. This is the town centre, the town hall. If I press, first thing you want to do is press map. And I'll give you a quick tutorial on what things on the map are. Okay, so your town hall is indicated by a blue or green star. There are two factions in Foxhole. First is Wardens, the second is Colonials. I always play Wardens myself, but other people like playing Colonials. And there's a good bit of rivalry between the clans fighting for both factions. It's quite fun. Okay, so first things first. How do you win a game of Foxhole? You need to capture all the enemy towns, and to do that, you need to destroy the enemy towns. Towns are indicated by green or blue flags. So if you're a blue player like myself, a warden, a green flag will indicate an enemy town, and the green star is the enemy HQ. So to take down an enemy town hall, you would need things like explosives, and then you'd have to rebuild the town hall with a construction vehicle to put it in your colours, to rebuild it as your own town hall. Okay. So, what do we have on the map here? So you see, there's lots of different icons around the map. So the first one you want to pay attention to is the screw icon. It is the scrapyard. This is where you mine scrap from. You then take the scrap and you transport it over to the refinery to refine into basic materials. And the hammer icon is an indication of the refinery building. So once you've done that and you've made yourself some basic materials, you can then go build a lot of different types of things with these basic materials. For instance, you can make weapons, you can make a vehicle, you can make defenses, things like that. So let's go and do a quick example of that. Well first actually, let's go through the other icons. So here you have bullets. These two bullets are indications of weapons factories. Here you can make like rifle ammo all the way up to like gas grenades and HMG ammo, storm rifles, those kinds of things. At the workshop is where you make like the equipment, so like binoculars, radios, as well as like things like sledgehammers, and also the heavy armaments for like artillery shells and tank shells. The vehicle factory indicated by the truck is where you can build from things like motorcycles to trucks, as well as field guns, artillery guns, as well as half-tracks and tanks at this stage in the development of the game. Probably in the future there'll be more. So let's go, and also fuel points. So fuel point is where you obviously get fuel to run your vehicles. This little node over here, the little stone icon, is sulfur. Now sulfur is incredibly rare. Let me just go through a quick couple of things. So sulfur node takes 2 hours to respawn. So you mine the sulfur. It's the most valuable resource because this is you take this resource and you refine it. So when you mine sulfur, you get explosive materials. When you mine sulfur, you get sulfur. Duh. Then you go refine the sulfur, which then gives you explosive materials. You then make explosive materials with BMATs, combine them together at a weapons factory or a workshop to make heavy armaments like tank shells and artillery shells. Because the sulfur spawns every 2 hours, it's considered very rare. So these points are probably one of the most important resources to get to capture. Okay. Now a bolt icon, like one of these icons. These are component yards. Now components can only be mined with sledgehammers. And you get sledgehammers from the workshop once it's leveled up to tier 3. We'll get into the leveling in a moment. So when you mine components with a sledgehammer, you get components. Then you refine them at the sledgehammer. So you refine them at the hammer to get refined materials. And with refined materials, you can build things like tanks and half-tracks, as well as upgrade existing structures like walls and foxholes. And then you can what else? And walls as well. You can upgrade walls and stuff. Anything else I've forgotten? I think that's it. There's a couple of more icons that will be added soon to the map, I believe, in the next update on the 14th, which will be a dockyard where you can build APCs and barges, I believe. I might be wrong on that with the APCs. I'm not sure if you can build APCs at the vehicle factory or the dockyard yet, so I need to go clarify that. But yeah, they'll add a dockyard soon for a new map that is like a D-Day map, which everybody's really excited for. So let's go. So now enough theorizing, enough explaining. Let's do an example. So I'm going to be a logistics player for the time being. I'll show you what you do. So this is where you spawn in for the game next to your town hall. Okay, first things first, town hall. Let's check it. So in the town hall, what do we have at the town hall here? Ah, I forgot to go over shirts. There's another icon on the map, the shirt icon over here. Now, a shirt icon is where you take B mats to build shirts. Now, shirts act as spawn points. You take the shirts and you submit them to a town hall or a forward operation base. A forward operation base is something you can build, which is this thing. This acts as exactly the same as a town hall, but it's buildable with a construction vehicle. You have to build a construction vehicle. You can only build a construction vehicle next to the town hall. Okay, I'm out of basic materials, so I can't even build that, but that's what the construction vehicle looks like, okay? So that's shirt. So also, at town halls you can set your spawn point. It's worth noting that every person can automatically spawn at their HQ. You can have 2 spawn points. The HQ spawn point, that's always mandatory, and the second one is a spawn point on like another town hall or an FOB. You can only ever have 2 spawn points. If a town hall falls, or if an FOB falls, you lose that spawn point and you're forced to respawn back at the main town hall. So that's worth noting. So over here on the right, you can see that the huge storage supplies that we have right now. So currently, see the things that are highlighted, it means that the things that we have. So right now we have some rifles, and we have some grenades and some fuel. So I'll just take out myself a rifle here. I've got to assemble it. So there we go, got my rifle now. So you press E on the town hall to access it. So then you press tab. Left click here to bring your equipment to bring your stuff from your backpack into your equipment. Then you press R to reload, like so. And then you right mouse click to aim. Okay? If you go crouch, you become more accurate when you're firing and less harder to hit. So that's C. And if you go prone with X, it doubles roughly. So you again become a lot harder to hit, and you're further more accurate when you're laying prone. So for new people, that's a very good advice. Not many people actually know about that when they first start playing. Okay, we'll go over the rest later on, but let's do some. Like I said, this is a truck right here. Someone's kindly left by. So all vehicles require fuel. So here we see a stack of fuel in this truck, but there's also someone's already left a pistol and a rifle. So what we'll do is we'll take that pistol and rifle, and we'll go back to the town hall and deposit it, like so. So if you ever want to deposit like excess stuff that's just lying around and not being useful, you go put it in the town hall like this, and you go submit to stockpile. So if I press right mouse, hover over there, you see that's 197 with the rifles. I submit it, goes up to 198. There you go. Okay, so also you can build storage boxes to store other equipment. It's also worth noting that you should never ever submit basic materials, fuel, or R materials, or even explosive materials to the town hall. Now, why is this? Because it takes quite a long time to assemble it out of a town hall. The best thing to do, if anyone's asking for basic materials, which is also known as B mats, refined materials, which is also known as R mats, if anyone's asking for those types of materials, always just put them in a box next to the designated FOB, or the town hall. It makes it a lot easier for people to get the resources faster. Never submit them to a town hall. A lot of noobs do this mistake, so don't do that. Okay, let's go in our truck now. Here we go. So a thing about trucks, every vehicle, it's like in America or most of Europe. I'm British. We drive on the right hand side. We drive on the left hand side of the road, and the driver's seat is on the right. But in this game, in all the vehicles, it's left hand side. So left hand side driver. So you can have 2 in the front, and I believe 4 people in the back. Okay, like so. And you can put stuff in it from the back, and you can put stuff in it from the front as well, and from the passenger seat. You can't put stuff inside vehicles from the side. See, there's no option to do it from the side, which makes sense. Okay, so also vehicles you can lock. If you press L, I can lock the truck. Now if I try and get in it, I can, because it's my truck. Wait. So I mean, because I can still get in it, but I can't access it because it's locked. You know, you can't access the inventory of the truck, right? Now, if I was in a squad, I could get... If my squad was 3 or more people, I could then claim... There would be a button here to say claim for squad. Now, that would mean that I could lock the truck so other people can't use it, but all my squad members can still access the inventory of the squad even though it's locked. That might be a little bit confusing, but hopefully that makes sense, right? Okay, so let's go and do a typical logistic run. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go off and go to the nearby scrapyard. So that's the wrong way. Good start. So let's go over here. Okay. So this is what a scrapyard looks like, you see? So with a scrapyard, you can mine it with a hammer. So it takes I believe 5 swings with a hammer to mine scrap. A sledgehammer takes 3 swings. If you mine with a sledgehammer, you gain more scrap. If you mine with a hammer, I believe you gain more tech parts. I think this is the case. Someone needs to confirm this. I think this is true, but I believe that's the general case when it comes to tech parts. Now, tech parts are a material that you can only gather through mining scrap and components. To start your squad, also, if you want to make a squad, you need to go press F1, and you see over here, you have to be a corporal to do this. So let's quickly talk about the ranking system now. So the ranking system, there's a level and a rank. The level doesn't really mean much at the moment. It's just like how many things you kill and how much you mine and that kind of thing. You slowly rank up automatically. But the rank system is something that you earn through people giving you commends. Now, to earn a commend, you have to be able to commend somebody or reprimand somebody. You'll have a little option here, because since I haven't got any commends at the moment, I can't be able to do that. But you earn commends and reprimands through through mining, through killing, and those kinds of things. I think it's someone said it was about 100 hits of a hammer. You earn 1 commend. To create a squad, though, you press. You come over here once you're a corporal. You're ranked up as a corporal, and you click that, and I go right, create and join a new squad. Create. So now I've made my squad. My squad name is Baker1. I can invite this guy called Irish. If I click this guy and press invite, I could invite him to my squad if I would like to. But he's already in a squad, so we're not going to invite him for the moment. So we're just going to mine this quickly. And hopefully hopefully we'll get some tech parts here. Now normally, as a logistics driver, which is what we're doing at the moment, so there's lots of different types of players for the game, right? And here, these are as follows. So the backbone of any army is a logistics player. They're the people that mine the scrap, that take the scrap, refine the scrap, then they take the BMATs, they make weapons, and they take these weapons towards the front lines so that people can use them. Okay, so they're like the back. Without these logistics players, the whole army comes to a grinding halt, and it becomes a mess. A lot of new players, I've noticed, just want to rush to the fight and get themselves killed. Because they don't know any better. They don't really. They probably. It's a new game. Not many games out there actually have the role of a logistics player when it comes to supporting an army. People are used to playing COD, BF1. They just get a gun and go killing, right? But this game's all about simulating a proper real war. And in real wars, you had people on the front lines driving trucks around, getting supplies from A to B. So people need to realise that logistics players are incredibly important, and we need them. Now, so the second type of player is a frontliner. So a frontline player is somebody that is on the front line and is killing enemies and pushing forward on the front line and taking territory off their opponents. They're taking enemy defences and stuff. The third type of player is the builder. So you've got people, they could be all over the map, building defenses, building walls, building FOBs. They constantly, they could be on the front line, and as soon as a friendlies have destroyed something, they could be pushing forward, building defenses down straight away. So builders are also incredibly important to the team. So we mined loads of scrap there, but we didn't get any tech parts, unfortunately. So we'll just wait here for a moment, because so scrap respawns every minute and 30 seconds, I believe. So every 90 seconds, scrap respawns. And I believe components, which is these yards over here, the bolt symbols, they respawn every 3 minutes. So here we go. Scrap's respawning again. So we go hit that. Hopefully we'll get some tech parts soon. Unfortunately not. just absolutely typical. When you want to do a tutorial video, you don't get your tech parts to do a demo. So anything else I've got? Okay, so you've got probably a fourth type of player that's a raider. So they're the type of people, for instance, that go on the map, they run around and they come around to enemy territory. So you see this is like 2 enemy towns here. They would probably come around here and like raid the enemy supply route. So these are guys that would destroy enemy trucks and enemy logistic drivers and steal their resources and try and cause havoc along enemy supply routes. So I would say that's the fourth type of player, a raider. Now you got maybe a fifth type of player, medics. I would say you know, people that like to be on the front line healing people, but generally they're considered frontliners. They're kind of a subcategory of frontliners. Chat, have I missed anyone? Oh, talk about encumbrance. Thanks. Good shout there, Dallum. So with encumbrance, so if you carry too much, right? So let me just carry this. You see my bag on the right hand side goes an orangey color, which means I'm slow. You see how slow I am now moving around? I'm moving a lot slower, and if I drop this, I can run a lot quicker. So if you're encumbered, you can't enter your vehicle. Okay. So if I try and press Q to get inside the vehicle, it says can't enter vehicle when encumbered. So you need to make sure that you know, you're encumbered before you get inside a vehicle. Also, left mouse click takes out a little bit of the stack. Right mouse click puts the entire stack inside the vehicle. Okay. Let's go mine this. Okay. Still haven't got any tech parts. Game is being stingy on me. So we'll just grab some more of this stuff. Still haven't got tech parts. So also, you might have people that like scrappers. So people, another type of logistics player is a scrapper. Somebody that like literally has one sledgehammer, stays at a scrap yard for maybe an hour or so, and just constantly farms scrap for the team. These are like one of the most valuable players in the game. It might not be a fun job. Some people like doing it. But it's one of the most rewarding jobs because, you know, people will greatly appreciate you because you're constantly doing like one of the most important tasks for the team. I normally, you know, I don't mind scrapping for a while, but it's nice to swap people over every now and then. You know, I try and, when I'm playing with my group, my clan kind of thing, we try to, you know, share the load and everybody swaps around doing front lines. You know, we swap around and do logistics builders and scrappers. We try and make sure everybody gets an even spread of doing everything. Oh my god, I still haven't got a tech part, really. Have I forgotten about anything else? Oh, we'll talk about we'll build some watchtowers in a moment, and I'll talk about watchtowers. Still haven't got a tech part. Normally I would have had a tech part by now. So what you normally do is you stay here, you get lots of scrap, you put it inside your truck, and then once your truck is full, we'll then go to the refinery, and then I'll show you what you do at the refinery. So, of all the things that you can build, which I'll give a demonstration in a moment, currently in this stage of the game in September 2017, are as follows. You can build barbed wire, a barracks. Now, barracks is a building that requires 100 basic materials to build. This also acts as another respawn point, but only 5 people maximum can respawn at a barracks. Well, you also need to submit shirts to a barracks to be able to respawn from the barracks. It's also very fragile. It can be killed by small arms fire, so you need to make sure you've got walls defending it. So on to the next thing, walls. Now, walls have an arrow pointing outwards, right? You always want the wall facing towards the enemy with the arrow, so the arrow is always facing towards the enemy. Why is this? Because once you've got your wall up and you've upgraded it, so there's 3 stages of a wall. This is a fence. If you press E, you can upgrade it again to a standard wall. And then once you can upgrade it again with refined materials to upgrade it to a fortress wall. Now, if you have 3 fortress walls next to each other, the middle wall means that you can upgrade that further to a fortified bunker, and that's why you want the arrow pointing outwards. Because if you have the arrow pointing the other way, then you can that's the direction the fortified bunker would be. Which is, you know, you don't want a friendly fortified bunker pointing back towards your lines, right? You want it to point towards the enemy. The medical lab. So yeah, there's another building that we haven't gone over, which is the medical lab. This building here is the. It looks like it's a church. Not really a medical lab. It's a church. This is where you can make med kits, bandages, and trauma kits. Now, a bandage is something that you can use on yourself. It's a one-time use only item that allows you to cure bleeding. So if you're bleeding, if you're in an engagement and you see yourself bleeding, that means you'll slowly, you'll die out soon. You'll go on the ground and you'll then need a trauma kit to pick you up. Okay, so having a bandage is quite useful. So it enables you to. Oh, now we have a tech part. Fantastic. Now I can go show you. So I'll go into med kits and stuff soon again. But let's go back onto the refinery stuff. Okay, so here's our truck. So now we're going back to the refinery. So let's just check our map here, see where the refinery is. It's this building here. Jump out. So that's another person honking their horn over there. So you can honk your horn. It's recommended to honk your horn at people that are in the middle of a road. Also, another good point. Never run down the middle of a road if you're a new player. You will get run over within a matter of seconds, trust me. Always try and run along the sides of roads. So as you see what I did there, right? I put the scrap inside the manufacturing plot. I press E, right click the whole stacks in, press salvage refine items, and they turn into BMATs. So now we have basic materials. Okay? So we'll see have this tech part. Now let's go, let me show you what you do with the tech part. Let's go to the weapons factory. Hopefully it's been built. So that's the finished barracks, and here's the weapons factories over here. So let's just turn around over here. Okay, here we go. So this is a weapons factory. So just for quick sake, I'm going to quickly make a very short order. So this is what weapons. We have two weapons factories here. So if you press E on the weapons factory, you can see it's tech level. So we'll come to that in a second. So to place an order, a lot of people what they do when they first play is and I made this mistake, is right click their stuff into the weapons factory. Do not do this. That's not how you make an order. You have to have it in your backpack. So you leave the stuff in your backpack, you click place order, and then you can see the stuff that you can make. Because this factory is only level 1, you can only make the stuff that is highlighted. So let's make, I don't know, 1 rifle and 1 ammunition clip. Okay? So now we press submit order. And then you saw there just previously like how much it took to make the order and how much we had in our inventory. So you see the order will be ready in just under 2 minutes. So let's go, while we wait for that, well, let's talk about the tech part thing. So this is the one tech part that we salvaged. This is what it looks like. It looks like a spark plug. So we then go to this vehicle factory. Sorry, the weapon factory. Press E. So this is when you submit so this is where you would put it. You would right click that or left click how many you got, and then you'd put it in the factory. Then you go submit technology and look on the left hand side. Now when I submit this, it went up 1 out of 50. Okay, so it does take a while to level up these buildings to make it balanced. And there we go. So once that's level 2, you can, if I come over to this factory over here, you can place order. You can see that you see what the tech that's required. See, revolvers require level 2. So once we've leveled up level 2, we can get revolvers and SMGs. Level 3, I believe we can get gas grenades and smoke. So yeah, gas and smoke. And shotguns. Level 4 is HMGs. Level 5 is mortars. And storm rifles is the highest tier tech, level 6, which only gives you the storm. You know, when you level up, you only get the storm rifle. But it's one of the best guns in the game. I still actually prefer using a rifle or whatever. Okay, so this order should be ready in 30 seconds. Let's make another order over here. So what you would normally do is you would make a full order. You try and make yourself a full order with what you have. To make it, be most efficient and most economical is to try and make sure you get a full order whenever you make something. So let's do a full order of grenades there, right? So that's what, you can only ever make 4 of anything when you're putting an order. So what happens is when you make these things, you get a crate. A crate is dropped. Let's take the rest of these BMATs because I want to show you what towers do in a moment. Let's go over here. So now our order is ready for pickup. So we pick up the order. And there we go. It comes to us in the form of crates. So it's unassembled crates. So now with crates, you have to deliver these crates to an FOB or a town hall. You can't deliver these to a barracks. Okay? So that's what we'll go do now. So we'll go deliver these to the town hall. which is just down the road. Now, as a truck driver, you can access the town hall. Only the truck driver. So you can press E in the town hall. As a truck driver, you can take things out a lot quicker than if you were on foot. And you can submit things quicker. You can submit things faster as well since you're in a truck. So, here we have the 2 crates. So we right-click these crates in. And now, so we've got rifles and 7.62mm rounds. So you can see how much we have of them. We already have loads, but for the sake of it. So now when we submit, that number will go up. 218 and 437. I believe it's 40. I believe each crate is maybe 40 clips. I'm not sure. I need to check that, but I'll have. You could if you go onto the wiki online, I'm sure you can find out the exact numbers of rifle clips, mags, and actual weapons on the wiki, depending on each crate. Okay, so now we've got some BMATs. Let's turn that truck off. So now we have some BMATs. I'll show you what a tower does. So let's go build ourselves a tower here. Right, let's have a little nice tower out the way over here. Okay, let's plonk that tower over here. Okay, so what does a tower do? I will show you. So it takes 35 BMATs to build a tower. Also, guys, if you see any blueprints like this, something that's in construction, you can destroy a blueprint regardless of what it is with small arms fire quite easily. So this is why you need to defend your builders at all costs, really, because it's if a guy with a small, just like even a rifle, gets up close, you can easily take it out. Even if it's a high value thing like a wall or something. Okay, so now the tower's up. So, since we haven't got a radio on us, we don't know what the tower can see. So we need to go find ourselves a radio. Unfortunately, we haven't got any radios at the moment, so I'm going to have to go make some. So let's go do that quickly. Like a standard box of radios. Hopefully it won't take us too long. So same thing, you go back, so we go to the, so that's what a vehicle factory looks like. Let me just quickly show you what it looks like. Actually, we'll make the thing first. We'll come over here. This is what the workshop looks like. Place an order. We can make radios here, so let's make a short order of that. That takes me a minute. That's fantastic. Okay. So this is what a vehicle factory looks like. You press E. Same thing, tech parts. It requires a lot more tech parts to level up at a vehicle factory than it does, like for instance, a weapons factory. So it's 100. Then I think up to level 3. Once it gets to level 2 and 3, it's like 200 and 250. It does take a lot long. You know, it increases tech parts with each level. Specifically the vehicle factory. The weapons factory, on the other hand, I think it always stays at 50 tech parts each time, I believe. So level 1, you can build bikes and motorcycles. So you can build yourself motorcycles as well as the trucks. One of my trucks. So for instance, if we wanted to make a motorcycle, we would just click that, and then we'd get our hammer and start hitting that. If we don't build it, if we don't, same thing with all blueprints. If you don't hit the blueprint with a hammer, well, if you don't submit a hammer hit with a basic material to make sure that it is going to be constructed, then it will disappear like that, right? So if I got my hammer out, for instance, like so, did that, and then hit it with 1. So now we've submitted 1 BMAT to that thing. Now that blueprint will never disappear unless it gets destroyed. Okay, so that's a good little tip there for knowing about blueprints. So you could do the same thing. So if you wanted to do an outline for a base and you weren't sure about it, so you could just do how would I want my wall here? So let's say if I had a gate here and I wanted to test, I wanted to test if it was good or not, and I wanted to see if the if a wall could be built on the right side. If it was a good distance between that garrison house and this, then I'd probably if it was bad, then I would just destroy it. So let me just destroy this thing, because the guy's probably going to get annoyed since I put it in a bad spot. Like so. So as you can see, a blueprint you can destroy really quickly. So now I'm going to take out this...
It's gonna be bright, sunshiny day. Ah, crap. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are we shooting?
Also, there's VoIP in this game, which is great. And also not so great, as you can kind of understand sometimes. So with VoIP, you can hear your friends and everybody else on your team, but you can also hear the enemy, which is also great. So if you use something like binoculars or you're hiding in a bush, you can be able to hear the enemy and hear their plans sometimes if they're talking in game. So you can also submit stuff on foot. So we're going to do that. So then we're going to submit the stockpile. So we're going to take out a radio with the truck because it takes it a lot quicker than getting out on foot. So now we'll take out the radio, put it in our handheld. Now if I press M, you can see here that we have the tower that we just built, right? So you can see it's the circumference of this tower, right? So you can only see the towers once you have a radio on you on the map. Now, if a tower is white like this, means there's no enemies nearby. If the tower lights up as orange, it means that enemies have been sighted within the area. So enemies are nearby. So you got to be alert. So all logistic drivers probably should carry around a radio with them, so they know, when they're driving through different territories, because they're always going to be on the move, dropping stuff off from A to B. They need to know if their route is clear. So having a radio on them, means that they can check their route is safe or not, and if so, and by doing that, they can avoid getting ambushed. Okay. Another thing. So if a radio tower turns like a pinkish color, it means the enemy has either been killed in the area or they have ran away and left the area. If the tower goes black, it means the tower has been destroyed and will disappear in 30 seconds to a minute time, I believe. I'm not entirely sure of the timing on that, but it is around about a minute, and then it will just disappear off the map. So they're the 3 stages of a tower. So towers are incredibly important. You should always try and get towers up throughout all your territories. This map is quite a small map, so that's why this tower appears quite large. On other maps, it depends. All towers have the same circumference. It's just it appears bigger on this map. Because this map is small, and on larger maps the tower circumference will appear smaller. So you're going to need more towers from more area. Okay? Okay. So, what else? Let's go on to...